What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be showing y'all how you can replace and slash fix your worn out shift bushing U-joint. This has been giving me problems on the Blue Civic for quite a while. I could be in first gear and it would look like it's still in neutral. So as you could tell, pretty worn out. So what I did is I went over to Ace Hardware, got this 3/4 inch, 3 feet long piece of tube. Actually, it's not even tube. It's just like a flat or a round bar, round stock. I don't even know what you call it. But anyways, I took it, ground off a little bit just so that way it'd slide in to the shift linkage a little bit easier. And then cut this back a little. And I actually ended up taking this little U-joint. It's for the steering column on an EF. So when I cut up my parts car, I just took this off of it. And somebody told me that they had tried this before and it worked. So we're gonna give it a go, see what happens. One end is gonna have to go on this round stock, and then the other end is gonna go on the transmission. And these will just clamp down around it, make it nice and tight. Might drill a hole through here so that way I can still put that pin in there, but we will see. It does seem like it's gonna work, so I gotta finish cutting this to length, get it all good to go, maybe chop off, I don't know, maybe to like right here, and get her on there. Heck yeah, I got that all cut. So now I just gotta make it a little bit smaller because 3/4 inch is not gonna fit inside of that U-joint. So I wanna say it's probably like maybe 3/8, so it's gonna get shaved down quite a bit, but nothing that the bench grinder can't handle. All right, so we finally got this all shaved down. So it should just slide right on, like it barely fits on. But a couple little whacks with a hammer, it should slide right in. And then we'll be able to put this bolt in here, tighten it down, and it won't move. So I thought about TIG welding this just a little bit, and I might still, but I'll see. It depends what we feel like doing. Well, I got the welder fired up right now, so I'm gonna go ahead, tack this guy up. I might do a bead around it, I'm not sure yet. Even though the way it sits, it looks pretty freaking good. I just don't want to take the chance, you know, something happens and I'm shifting gears and then all of a sudden this rod is moving inside of here and I end up missing a gear, or it pushes in or pulls out, whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna run a quick bead around this and show y'all what that looks like. I got some pretty colors. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna let this cool down and then throw it on, see what happens. I think it'll do pretty good. But yeah, and I guess for reference, y'all don't have to weld it. I only welded it because I have access to a welder. You can very easily drill a hole through everything and then put a bolt through it with like a nylon locking washer nut. Cause yeah, I even made my mark right here. Oh, it's still kind of hot. I made my mark right here, and that's where that rod goes into. That's the very end of it. So if I needed to anywhere in here, I could just drill a hole, call it a day. This thing's had a little bit of time to cool down, not much, it's still pretty hot, but I'm at least gonna be able to try and attempt to put this on. Let's see. Make sure that lines up right. Yeah, that'll line up good. We're literally just gonna be taking this, wiggling it into place. I might have to pull this off to do a notch. The way that bolt hole goes in there, I think I might have to notch it. Well, this would be why you measure twice and cut once. I didn't measure this at all, honestly. I just kind of slapped it on there. But it's finally in there. It looks like the bolt's gonna clear through. Moment of truth. Heck yeah. And then I can tighten that down too, make it clamp on there real well. So that's pretty much what my shift linkage is gonna look like underneath the car. Actually, it'd be like that. So I did it this way where you have, because there's two sides on this. One side is longer than the other. So this one's the short end, this one's the long end. I wanted more room on this to be able to grab onto it. And then this side, I wanted this end to be a little shorter because it'll actually be able to spline onto the transmission and grab onto that shaft. Pause. But I think this should work. So now I gotta get it on the car, see what happens. Also have it set up too, so if you go underneath the car, you can get this from the side, and you can get this from the bottom, and it'll be really easy to do. I'm under the car now. Just got this back piece of the shift linkage put back in. This is what it'll look like up front. You can actually kind of adjust, well, when you have the bolt out, you can kind of adjust where you want your shifter to be just by like pushing this forwards and backwards, and then you can put your bolt in. So I'm gonna get this all tightened up now. Pretty easy, all 10 mils, you know, standard stuff for Hondas. Nothing too crazy. You just gotta make sure too, when you're tightening it up, because mine's doing it right now, that it doesn't back out a little bit. If you really wanna make it permanent, you can get your cutoff wheel, make a little notch right here on this shaft where you want this to go through. So you might be able to see it. It's really, really tight to see in there, but it just barely gets in the way. And you can make a little notch in there. And then that way it's definitely locked in. It's not gonna be going nowhere, you know? So it doesn't matter if you're banging gears or anything else, it's locked in place. So I'm gonna get this installed after I do this little cut, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So I got that reinstalled over here. I had to do some adjusting to the position of where I wanted the shifter inside the car, so I actually had to stick this out more. So now that I know that, if you guys like the stock position, at least for in an EF, definitely cut yourself quite a bit more than you think you're gonna need. So I was just trying to measure this up, and I'm about, I don't know, I'd say a good ½ inch too short. So give yourself like way more space than you actually need. Also, I just finished notching this part out right here. It does not take much. Like, it is barely anything. Let me see if I get a good shot of that. It's barely anything. So I just use this Dremel right here. And you want it to be just enough that when you're looking through this bolt hole, oh man, yeah. It's like that wouldn't clear, but that would clear. See what I mean? So you really don't need that much on there at all. So now I can put the bolt in. Bolt slides in freely. Screws on, pretty easy. Where's this thing at? So now, once you get that on, you can just sit there and tighten it up. And you'll get it pretty tight. You know, it's pretty much doing this off of friction, so gripping onto it, so you want it to be pretty tight. All right, so I just got this all tightened up. There's just a little bit of crud in it, but as you could tell, it is not going anywhere. Like whatever way I turn it, that's the way it's gonna go. I might put the camera down here and go up top and shift just so I can see what it looks like. Let me make sure this other one is tightened up as well. I think it is. Yeah, it's all good to go. So I'm sure y'all saw in that last video clip, I was having an issue with this rotating inside of here. That would be because when I went to go notch out the spot for this bolt to go through, I just kind of yeeted it and I didn't really get it, you know, precise like I should have. So fortunately, the only thing I could do now is either weld this right here to keep it from moving like at all, which would actually be kind of nice because then this will become permanent and I'm totally fine with that being a thing. Or I guess I could put some washers back here and make it an extremely tight fit to where I could just barely get this to press on that way. But it's getting kind of late and I don't really have time to go to the parts store right now. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and weld this up and fuse that to the center shaft right here and call it a night. All right, just got everything basically just tacked up. That was the welder that you could hear in the background, and I just got this back installed. So I'm gonna let y'all see from the side angle what that looks like when I'm shifting through the gears. If you guys do end up having to weld yours, be careful, take your time, let it cool down. Forgot these are grease bearings and it got pretty hot and some of the grease started to leak out. Well, you know what they say, third time's a charm. Finally got this to work. I ended up having to drill a hole for where the bitch pin normally goes into, and I just put a bolt through it for now. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get another bitch pin because I kind of destroyed the other one. Trying to modify it to make it work with this, and I should have just drilled the hole like right through there. That would have worked. So, but yeah, so if you do it that way, you're not even gonna have to worry about, you know, having this thing go all over the place. I will still tighten this down up here though, just because it is a little bit loose and I don't like that. So, and that's basically the same problem I had with the other one, just a lot worse. So I'm gonna tighten this down. After I get another bolt for this, probably do like an Allen head bolt and do like a nylon locking nut on the bottom or something like that. That way I can still run this one through here and have it be nice and tight. But I can show y'all it does finally work without slipping or anything like that, because obviously the pin's in there. So let me tighten this up real quick just so y'all can kind of get an idea of what's going on, and then I'll show you guys what it's like when I'm going through the gears. All right, so I got that tightened down. that is how much wiggle you have with this. Absolutely zero. This is freaking awesome. I like it. So let me back up, show y'all what it's like going through the gears. That already feels a ton better. I still gotta replace the bushings and the back here, which I do have the kit for. Let's see, where back does this go? Oh, right here. So I do still gotta replace this rear bushing back here, and I think that might be it. Just got and tighten this down. That's probably got something to do with the play too. Yeah, most definitely. Okay, yeah. So, but other than that, I mean, it is solid. That thing, it feels really good. I think this will do great on the track. I really do. That'll do it for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.